Hey everyone, welcome back to Liz Cat Reactions. As you can see from the title, this is episode 15 of season 2 of Heartland, Dark Horse. Lou resurrects the Hudson Derby, stirring up an age-old grudge match between Jack and Tim. It's always fun to kind of see the two of them battling. You know, as I said, I usually think that Jack has been put in for comedy because he is pretty funny and his awkward ways make it funny. So I think we're gonna have a bit of anger, but I think we're gonna have some comedy between them too. Obviously Ty and Amy are growing closer, as we saw in the last episode. Ty told Amy about his past. You notice Jack never asked about it? I mean, Jack told him that he did almost send him back a few times, but he never asked about it because he said he never told anyone about it. So Jack obviously doesn't know. And I think Jack would be okay, because if Jack found out that Ty had this abusive stepfather, I think Jack would be ready to go and kick his ass or kill him too. Jack does regard Ty as one of the family. He does like him and he does care about him. And that's a credit to Ty, you know. Mallory, of course, made a friend with Tara, who was the girl on probation. Be interesting to see if we do see her and Badger again. Because when the episode ended, we knew that they were kind of on the mend, but we never really saw anything, like saw them ship off or whatnot. So I think there's a possibility we might see them again. Maybe not right away, might be a little bit. And Ty, of course, did end up lying to Kit. So, of course, Kit's not going to really stand for that, I don't think. And we didn't see much of Caleb in the episode. He didn't show up to Heartland or anything. And we found out, of course, that Ashley's mother is sick. So, let's get going on episode 15. Are you ready? Let's get started.
Because you cheated!
He's taking the hay! Like I said, this is gonna be good.
It's definitely not livestock.
He's a pet.
Some people think of their horses as pets, but as far as Hudson County is concerned, they're in the same category as cows, chickens, and goats.
I said that this episode was gonna be funny, and yeah, I love how Jack is getting so worked up about this. He sees that Tim signed up first, so he's all, that'll be the last time. You know, like I was saying earlier with Val, she may not have much time left on this earth, since Ashley said in the last episode that she was sick. So she should be thankful, one, that Ashley's there with her on Earth, and two, I know she wants Ashley to be taken care of, but she wants Ashley to be taken care of by like some rich millionaire, you know? She still is turning her nose up at Caleb and looking down on him, doesn't like the idea of rodeo, and I'm like, if Caleb does have a future in rodeo, that might be pretty cool, you know? He says he doesn't want to be a ranch hand, he's just working there, and then he's going to go professional. Let him. I mean, there are worse things. She probably wouldn't like it if Ashley dated a kid who was a janitor. So, and I'm not saying anything bad about janitors because they are wonderful people and they work hard. I'm just using that as the point about Val. So she should be thankful for what's going on. Now, obviously, even though she is sick, obviously Ashley didn't move back in with her, so she's still living with Caleb. But I like how she's on the sour cream coffee cake. I don't know that I've ever had that. Might have to look up some recipes and see about possibly making one, because that does sound pretty good. If any of you have any recipes, leave them down in the comments. Funny that I called it that he was looking at money for Jack. Yeah, with being a thoroughbred, yeah, he would be pretty fast and everything. So, it's going to be nice. I bet Jack wins. Although, it does make you wonder, since you're obviously getting two different stories, it does make you wonder if Tim really did cheat, or if Jack got something wrong. I don't know. But like I said, I knew this episode was going to be funny because of those two going at it. Whenever they are in competition together, the episodes are usually pretty damn funny. Half the time I think they put Jack in here just for comedy. You know? I noticed we aren't seeing Lisa in this episode. And it does make you wonder, especially when they have some of these events, like, you know, like the rodeo or whatnot. Like, why wouldn't she be there? I mean, granted, she could have stuff going on. She does have her own life. But you would think if she finds out that Jack signed up for the rodeo, she'd want to be there to support him. You know, or like in the last episode with the probation kids, yeah, we saw Caleb at his place, but like he never showed up there to Heartland, and they could have probably used him to help with the kids. So why did we never see him? Why was Scott like not in the episode before when I was kind of asking where Scott was? You know, it's like it kind of makes you wonder what is going on. Like maybe the actress who played Lisa, maybe she really wasn't available, and so they didn't put her in. But again, you would think if it's something important to Jack like this rodeo, that she would show up. So I think Jack is going to come from behind because, as Ty was saying, he's a come from behind horse. So, you know, and that's what happens in some of these derbies. They go ahead and they, you know, you can go ahead and start them off strong, but then of course they lose gas, they lose their energy. But if you conserve the energy until basically like the last leg and then let them go, that's when the magic happens. I'm pretty sure that's what happened with Seabiscuit. I could be wrong on that. I remember it's been a long time since I've seen that movie. But I think it was something like that where Seabiscuit ended up, they kind of held him back until pretty much the last leg. And then when they let him go, it was like beautiful. You know, he just went really fast and left everyone in the dust. So I could be wrong about that. I could be thinking of someone else. But yeah, so I have a feeling that we're going to see that here with Money. Obviously, it's going to be ahead, and then when it gets to that last leg and it's getting close, boom, Money is just going to go ahead and take over. Now, I don't know, you know, normally when you see like the Kentucky Derby and stuff, the jockeys are already on the horses. So that was a little odd how the guys started off their horses and then ran to them. Because you notice the horses kind of spooked and freaked out, which I'm thinking that's not a smart idea right there, because you just spooked the horses, which could cause them to kick. You know, we saw Tim's horse had been rearing up, and I'm like, that's not a good idea right there. But let's keep going.
And that mild one, it's Dusty Brother.
I'd love it if Scott won. That would be funny.
Oh, yeah!
You're like, I don't care, bitch.
Bring it on.
I kind of had a feeling when Scott said he was going to be a late entry, I kind of had a feeling he was going to be the one to win. Now, I do kind of wish that Money had, since he has a come from behind horse, but the fact that he did come from behind and come in second was a good thing. Granted, of course, half the other riders were gone, but still, Jack did start off dead last and end up being tied for second, so that's pretty cool. Now, that is cool also with Scott, and it was funny how Scott was giving Ty all that advice, you know, like the really good food and everything. Obviously the same stuff that he probably fed Eat My Dust and caused him to win. So it's kind of like he kind of helped the competition, but I think it was okay because I think when he was helping the competition, he wasn't planning on entering the race because he did say he was a late entry. And then I like how Lou there is going ahead and kind of like bidding on Scott for a date since it was a weekend for two, when he was clearly flirting with her. It's a weekend for two, kind of trying to get back. Hello. So that was pretty funny. And then of course bidding on his hat. So yeah, this has been an amusing episode. Now it's called Dark Horse. I'm guessing that that's Money. That Money was the dark horse. I don't know too much if that's like a betting term or a rodeo term. So I'd have to, or derby term. So I'd have to look that up. But that's what I'm guessing dark horse is money, because money was kind of dark. And they said money wasn't that attractive. And I'm like, money's fine. Leave him alone.
Would you like me to lend you some money?
Mrs. Bell, you don't understand. I was trying to raise money for you.
Well, don't worry about me. My lawyer tells me we already have that Ms. Newton on the run.
Your lawyer?
Found my glasses, dear. He was the first person I called after I read that letter.
You have a lawyer?
And he thinks Sugarfoot is the cutest little client he's ever had. So he's working for free.
Free? Mrs. Bell, do you have his card? Can I get his number? You see,
I got this official letter from Hudson County.
He's taking the hay.
Well, I'm glad to see you were able to satisfy your petty concerns and accept the hay. Glad you were able to drop your price to something reasonable. Yeah, I'll get it for the girls. When I realized that Scott was going to win the race, I slowed down so he could catch up. The hell you did!
Yeah, when you're looking back, so I'm gonna settle my accounts.
Oh God.
Is this for real?
Yeah. Things get settled every once in a while.
Okay. But I want this to be fair. Do you want a head start?
I don't need one.
Good.
Hey, what happened to the fair?
Of course she wasn't serious, Di. So who wins? That's what's important. So, as I said, I knew that was going to be a funny episode. And it was. And it's nice to get a little more history on Tim and Jack. Now, I just happened to glance at the next episode, and it says Amy and Ty will stop at nothing to get Spartan back after he's stolen. So I wonder if Malin comes back or if it's going to be someone else. But I'm like, no, not Spartan. Spartan is her horse now. And if anyone knows from seeing my reaction to the season 1 finale, you know, Spartan knew Malin, and he knew that Malin was the one that hurt him. And yeah, Spartan is his horse, or is her horse now. So that better not be Malin. Unfortunately, I won't be able to find out today because this is my last one for the day. So I'm like, I don't know. I might have to do as I said in the previous video and do some research and see if I can find out the scoop to prepare me for the next episode on that. But, you know, I had a feeling when Ty and Amy were in that position, I had a feeling that they weren't going to kiss because the writers were going to come up. I had that feeling. But it was, of course, another hint towards them being together. And he is still technically with Kit. So, had that happened, obviously, then he would be cheating on Kit. But as we know, even though he's with Kit, I think he's not totally into it. It's like, I've also been watching Nancy Drew on the CW, which if you're not watching that show, I highly recommend checking it out on the CW or on HBO Max if you have that. You can also catch my reactions to Nancy Drew on my channel as well. I have season 2 up and season 3 probably coming up later this year. But there is a ship between Nancy and Ace, and for a while they were dating other people. She was dating this guy Gil, and Ace was actually dating Gil's sister Amanda. But you could tell that even though they were dating these other people, they were still attracted to each other and wanting really to be with each other. And then of course earlier this season, spoilers! So if you don't want to hear this, I would suggest muting right now. Spoilers, of course, things progressed a little more with Nancy and Ace. I won't say more than that, just in case. But they kind of came to realize their feelings for each other. So obviously then Gil didn't appear at all this season, I don't think. He might have appeared in one episode, I don't remember. Amanda only lasted a couple episodes, luckily. But yeah, so it was, in a way, it's kind of the same thing, which is a common trope in television. So you have Ty and Amy, who are technically with other people, but yet they're the ones that each other desires. And so sometimes it takes dating the other character for a bit for them to realize where their heart lies. I think Ty does enjoy being with Kit, and I think he does like her, and there might be an attraction to her. But we don't know if, when he's actually kissing her, if he's thinking of Amy. Maybe he is thinking of Kit, but obviously he's not as into it as he would be with Amy. And kind of the same when Amy kissed Caleb, we know obviously that her heart lies with Ty. So, you know, if you take Nancy Drew and Heartland, in that sense, it's kind of the same. You've got Nancy and Ace, who are supposed to be the ones together, kind of the OTP. And then you have Ty and Amy, who are supposed to be together, the OTP. And of course the avenues and stuff that they have to go through to become an item, which they will eventually. So episode 15 is done. Like I said, I wish I could go ahead and start episode 16 because it's going to be about Spartan. You know they'll get Spartan back, and I hate the thought that he's going to be stolen, but hopefully it'll all work out in the end. If you enjoyed this react, please hit the like button and subscribe for more content. Hit the notification bell to be alerted on future content. Please follow me on Instagram and TikTok of the same name, Lazy Cat Reactions. I try to post clips to my reactions on TikTok, so go and give that a follow, please. If you are watching this on Rumble, please head over to YouTube to increase the traffic over there. But go ahead and switch your VPN as these videos are blocked in the United States, New Zealand, and Australia. And if somehow you are watching this through a different VPN on YouTube, I thank you very much for changing that VPN. And if you can, head over to Rumble. You don't have to change your VPN. I think you can leave it on whatever one you're watching, or you can switch it back to America for Rumble. And go ahead and give it a view there too, just to increase viewership on that as well. I would greatly, greatly, greatly appreciate it. Follow me on Patreon if you can, but if you can't, I totally understand. I'd love to be able to have the monetary support so I can continue to make these, but I get it. Times are tough for everyone right now, unfortunately. Thank you so much for joining me for episode 15. I got 3 episodes left of season 2. I cannot wait to get the season over so I can continue on the next season and keep this story alive because I'm really loving the show. I'll talk to you in my next video. Bye!